Texas Law SB140. Let's talk about it. My name is Kenny Cannon. I'm the founder of Quad Core Advisors, a lead generation company here in New York. And we deal with telemarketing from overseas call centers and also SMS marketing all the time. So I'm just going to give you my opinion on this, how I feel about it, and what I think is kind of going to happen. And you guys take that however you want. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not giving you legal advice. I'm not telling you what to do, what not to do. I'm just giving you my opinion on it, and then you can go out and do whatever you want. So Texas SB 140, the first thing we have to realize is that this is basically the same law that was passed in 1991. That regulated telemarketing, but it also included SMS messages, and that's been happening. It's been in effect since 1991. Basically the same thing. There are some changes, the bond and everything else, but for the most part, it's pretty much the same thing. The most important thing you have to realize with this is pay attention to your time zones. In my opinion, that's always been the case. So you don't want to call people, text people, message people after 9 p.m. Or before 9 a.m. in most states. Some states it's 8 a.m. as well. But in most states, most thing you have to worry about is the nighttime. Don't call people early in the morning. Usually start at 9 and then or text them or whatever. And make sure you cut it off at 9 o'clock. All right. So that's the number one thing. And that's with every state, no matter what it is. Actually, our dialers automatically shut off. The dialer won't allow us to call after 9 p.m. It won't allow us to happen in the local time. So you got to make sure you're working your time zones effectively. The other thing too is I think that, and again, I'm not telling you to do anything. It's like, this is totally up to you. Whatever you want to do, you do it. But people that get in trouble with stuff like this primarily are people that should be in trouble anyway. Meaning the, Nigerian prince scammer or like that type of stuff, right? It's not the roofing contractor that's like, hey, I just want to introduce myself to you because we came into the neighborhood and like, if you need anything, call me. Like, that guy's not like going to get in trouble for the most part. Now, could they? I guess. But for the most part, probably not going to happen. So, if you're a decent human being, if you have ethics, you have morals, you have values, you're probably going to be fine in most cases. But again, I'm not a lawyer, so you might want to talk to one before you do anything. This is my biggest problem with it, and I'll just kind of go into this briefly, and you can kind of take what you want out of it. So basically the law says unless you're an exempt category, and if you're in the exempt category, none of this applies. But if you're not in the exempt category, you have to file a form, pay a $200 fee, post a $10,000 bond, and renew annually. Now, the problem is if you want to take a second and guess, you can. It's probably pretty easy for most people. But who do you think the exemptions are? Publicly traded companies and their subsidiaries, financial institutions, educational institutions, 501c3 nonprofits. So they could have just shortened that whole entire paragraph and just said the exempt companies are our biggest donors and our biggest campaign arm. Because 501c3 nonprofits, there's a lot of them that are really, really good. But I promise you, they didn't do this and say, oh, well, we have to remember Wounded Warrior Foundation or whatever. Like they didn't, that's not why they put them in there. They put them in there because not all, but a lot, or some at least, of their campaign operations are run through 501c3 nonprofits. There are other things as well, super PACs and things like that, but most of the time, or a lot of the time, it's run through those type of programs, right? So if that's the case, when you're getting nonstop barrage text messages, emails, phone calls during campaign season, did you ever notice no matter how many times you opt out, you can't do it? Did you ever notice that no matter how many times you put yourself on the do not call list, they still call you during campaign season and they never get in trouble because they're exempt? For me personally, that's a problem. Because in the United States, we have what's called equal protection under the law. If you're going to exempt your friends and apply a law to the other guys that aren't your friends or aren't your donors or aren't your campaign arm or whatever, like I have a major problem with that, And another example of that would be like back when the ACA passed, and I don't really want to get too much on a rabbit hole down with this, but they exempted all of Congress, they exempted all their friends, exempted certain companies from it, and I'm like, well, I'm not doing it then. I didn't. I didn't get insurance, and I pay my own medical bills, so I've had doing that for a long time. But I'm not going to get insurance. I'm not paying the fine, and I never did. I never paid the fine one time. I'm not getting insurance. I'm not paying the fine, and it's not because I'm trying to be like a rebel or like whatever. It's because equal protection under the law. If you're going to blanket everybody, then blanket everybody, including the president, including Congress, including the Supreme Court, including all of your donors, including everybody. If that's the case, I'm all for it. I'll do whatever you want me to do. But if it's only for certain people, that's a problem for me. So again, that's just my personal opinion. You could think differently, and that's totally fine. But for me, that's where I draw the line. If you're only going to apply it to certain individuals and certain types of companies or whatever, then it's kind of hard for me to take it seriously. And on top of that, it's kind of hard for me to take it seriously when, the government has a little island somewhere that they are, and I don't want to say too much because it's YouTube, right? But they have an island somewhere and they're either participating or covering up for that island. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. And you're focused on text messages? Like, how about we arrest some of those people? How about we find out those thousands of people that were harmed and injured and scarred for life? How about we take some of those people that were victimized and help them? How about we take some of the people that were doing the victimizing and put them in jail? How about we take all of them, regardless of who they are, and put them in jail? How about we do that instead of worrying about text messaging? And then once we do that, then maybe worry about text messaging. That's fine. But there's a little bit of like an order of priority here, right? And if that's going on and the government is actively either taking place in it or was taking place in it, or they are covering up for it, and I believe it's probably both, then you're going to cover up for that. And you're going to I can't take you seriously with anything, like no matter what it is. So again, that's just my opinion on it. You could think differently, and that's totally cool if you do. Not a big deal. But the bottom line for me is make sure that you stay within the 9 to 9 range. Make sure that you're a decent human being. And this goes for everything, right? Make sure you're a decent human being. You're helping people. You're not going out there and sending out a message that says like, hey, I found a virus on your computer. Send me a Walmart gift card and I'll get it off. Like, you should be in jail anyway. It's nothing to do with text messaging. Like, you're stealing money you're hurting people. So you should be in jail anyway. If you're going out there and you're being a decent human being, you have morals, values, and ethics, you're doing the right thing, you're trying to make people's day better, you're actually trying to help every individual you come in contact with, most of the time, and I'm not talking about just this law, I'm talking about everything, most of the time, you're going to be okay. Whether that's knocking on a door. I've knocked on so many doors in my lifetime that had a no solicitation sign on them. Those are my favorite ones because no one else would go near them, right? Everyone was afraid to. I knocked on those doors all the time. And you know what? I got thrown out a lot. Of course, look at the sign. You didn't see the sign. I got thrown out a lot. But if you go into something like that and you're a decent human being, they're some of the best customers you're ever going to get because nobody else is ever going to come near them. And again, it's just about being a decent human being, having morals, values, and ethics, and treating people the right way. Like everything. That's really what it comes down to. So that's my thoughts on it. Your thoughts can be whatever they want. It's a free country, and, well, kind of. Actually, not really. Not at all, actually. You're hearing about the law. So it's not at all, but we try to pretend that it is. We try to pretend that we have equal protection under the law, even though we don't. Obviously, SB140 in Texas, you could see that. And like 95,000 other things. But you do what you want to do. I would highly suggest that you consult an attorney before you do any of this stuff. And, I've been in the business for a long, long, long time, since 1999. So for me, like, I kind of know the game already, and I'm just going to kind of operate around that game. We don't really work in Texas at all, actually, right now. But the bottom line is I'm not worried about it really at all. Does that mean you shouldn't be? No. It means that I'm not worried about it, and you should do what you think is right, and you should, again, always treat people with respect, always treat people with kindness, always try to help everyone that you come in contact with, regardless of how they treat you. You should always lead with respect, lead with grace, lead with trying to help people and make people's day better, and however you can do that. And I think if you do that, broadly speaking, most of the time you're going to be okay. All right. So if you like this type of content, you can subscribe, you can like it, you can hit the bell, all that stuff. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, issues, or whatever, leave a comment below, and I will definitely respond to you. All right. Take care. Have a great day, and we'll talk soon.